Hi, this is Tashina.
And this is Jonathan.
This is Abandoned Ship, a podcast where we take you through Deep Space Nine.
And today we are talking about Season 2, Episode 15, Paradise. I thought it was a really well put together episode that was kind of let down by the ending.
Yeah,
At least from a cathartic point of view.
Yeah, I get that.
So I want to figure out if that's just me wanting that catharsis, not getting it, but it actually is the best way it should have ended, or, if there's something different they could have done that we can. So we'll tee that up for
It's probably
the
why
end.
I never, it's an episode I would never revisit just because it's frustrating.
Deeply frustrating.
It's frustrating.
That's probably why, this
because
one.
it is a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did a lot of, and I'll try and point some of the things out.
Especially what's going on nowadays. This lady would have thrived in our current climate.
I think you said, it's a Tradwife. Never big trad colony. Yep.
Yeah, she would have had a huge cult following. She would have been on the CIA's watch lists of we gotta keep an eye on what's going on over there. In my mind, I had a picture of what this woman would have been
The compound.
in our current
Kool-Aid,
climate.
yeah.
But she wouldn't even have to do much. So here she had to. I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
We'll get to it. Okay, so we start off in the runabout with Sisko and Miles, and they're on some kind of survey to find habitable planets.
Yeah, so I thought they were in the Gamma Quadrant, just because they're always in the Gamma Quadrant.
I know.
But it looks like they were just surveying the local area around the wormhole
Okay.
to establish colonies there. I'm assuming because the wormhole's opened so much trade that it's a new development, right? There are townhouses going up everywhere. So now they got to scout and see,
Exactly. They
okay,
need new land.
this stuff that used to be out in the sticks that no one wanted, now everyone wants colonies here to be close to the wormhole.
Close that money.
So yeah, so they are in the alpha quadrant, I guess.
Yes.
Not the Gamma Quadrant. So interesting that it has nothing to do with, because I thought I had remembered when they talk about the ship that crashed, I thought the plot was that they had accidentally found the wormhole and gone through that. That's why they were never found again. Because it is kind of strange, actually, when you think about how no one ever stumbled across them. But that was not it. It just was out in no man's land, out in the middle of nowhere.
Means no one came looking for them.
Right?
Hmm.
They didn't explain a lot of that, which is probably for the better, because oftentimes we complain about them over trying to explain every little thing. But yeah, that's definitely a standing question is, why did no one stumble across them before? Why did no one go looking for them? The Gamma Quant, which is just interesting because the wormhole is right there. That's usually what they do is they go, oh yeah, we went through the wormhole and got lost.
Yes, that's what you're expecting.
Right.
But no, they're just
It would have been
bebopping around.
They probably thought of that, but it would have been in conflict with her designs. Because then,
because she wouldn't have known about the Gamma
wormhole.
Quadrant.
They could have made it where she actually discovered it earlier, but no. Then the aliens, that was their first interaction with humans. Yeah, so
Yes.
I'm sure they thought about that, and then we're just like, this breaks everything.
Yes,
We'll just do it somewhere near the wormhole.
Alpha, yeah. Before everything happens, Sisko Miles has a conversation about Jake. It sounds like he's going to be interning with Miles to prepare for
Is this
Starfleet.
the first time we've heard about this?
Yeah, no, because Jake apparently is not doing too well. It sounds like in a certain subject that Miles is really good at.
Mechanical aptitude.
Yeah, because Sisko is worried, and then Miles is saying, hey, I wasn't good at this either, but then I was thrown in the front lines, and, I had 9 minutes and 53 seconds to figure out how not to die, so I figured it out. I didn't know warp engine from a transporter, that kind of thing.
Which is interesting. This is her whole case. So right off the bat, we're getting a cold open that, one, sets up a continuing plot, because this Jake and Starfleet thing comes back.
There's a reason why Sisko and Miles are the two right people to be in this episode, for a lot of reasons. Because a lot of her arguments, they counter.
Right.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that, yeah, like he's talking about this things he wouldn't have known if he wasn't put in a pressured situation.
Yes.
Things that were discovered under pressure. Would you ever wish for someone to be in a situation where they had 10 minutes to figure out how not to die? No.
No.
But he did come out better for it. So that sets up sort
Yes.
of this moral question of when is it worth it?
Yeah.
So
So they come across this planet and there's humans down there, but there's no way they can communicate to the life forms down there. So they both just beam down.
yeah, there's they
Kind of their first mistake, but okay.
there's a field that I feel like they should be. Yeah, it may be blocking communications. I think it may be blocking a lot more. This is definitely one of those. If you really analyze throughout
We-
Star Trek, like the
yeah.
bad safety decisions they make, so the episode can
Exactly.
happen.
It's
It's
kind of
ridiculous.
something we have to overlook because we need both Sisko and Miles on this planet. But they get down on the planet and they realize none of their electronics are working and they can't reach the runabout.
There's no EM activity. Shouldn't that mean our brains don't work? That explains a lot.
And then all of a sudden they are taken hostage by Robin Hood.
Yeah, it really did look like Robin Hood, like in the whole getup and everything.
I was like, wait a minute, that's wrong series.
This is not Next Generation.
Every little credit.
So yeah, someone has a bow.
There's two men there, but one with a bow and arrow. That is literally, he is dressed right of Robin Hood.
The transcript says a man's aiming an arrow at their backs using a longbow. That's deadly.
Thanks, script. So after our credits, we come back. Miles and Sisko turn around, and that's when the other guy, who's the older gentleman who's not dressed as Robin Hood, Joseph, he recognizes their outfits. He's like, wait, you're Starfleet. And he tells the Robin Hood guy, who's kind of reluctant to fit his bow down.
Mhm.
He's like, no, they're Starfleet. Like, put your weapon down.
Yep.
And so they start talking. He's like, your outfits look different, but I know Starfleet. And they're like, we crash landed here 10 years ago. And because of this field on the planet, we have not been able to communicate to anybody. We can't get our ship working. Like, we've been stuck. They just call their they pretty much the bases of their villages around this ship that doesn't work. They call the cabin now. And he brings them to the little village area, and everybody starts popping out and asking tons of questions like, what about this? What about that? What's the latest fashion?
That was the goofiest one.
That cracked you up. I'm like, girl, that's your first question?
Women just asking about fashion.
Yeah, I know. And then Alexis pops out. And, ooh, you could see who's in charge a mile away. And at first, it's like, okay, she's intense, but,
Mhm.
they seem to look up to her.
She's clearly, yeah, the leader.
boss.
Yeah.
And she goes on and on about how wonderful life they have here, the community that they were able to build. We all work, and it just shows how the human spirit and the body it's just a wonderful thing.
There's some more subtle dialogue here too.
Yes, there's just
like
it's hard to capture like her tone and the way she speaks.
Yeah, it definitely gives you a vibe. Or
Yes.
not. It's not mustache twirling, but you can kind of feel
It's conniving.
yeah,
It's calculated.
convincing, and it's
Con-
convincing.
Convincing and calculated.
It's almost like in Survivor, where they fear people not because they have any particular suspicion, but just because they know they're good at convincing people, like they're persuasive. So you can tell she's persuasive, which makes you on guard just because of the possibilities open. But no, I was more talking about like in the beginning we had this conversation about Jake and
Mhm.
and Miles and him learning things that play into the themes. You mentioned the archer guy, how he sort of is a little more hesitant to put down his bow. Some real like subtle clues about where this is going without overplaying their hand. There's another one that plays into the themes here, just in some of this random small talk they have with them. there's the women's fashions, obviously, but he asks, one of them asks Cisco about this soccer champion. Hey, is this guy still playing?
Yes.
And he says, oh yeah, he did, but he hurt his knee and had it replaced with a bio implant,
Yes.
but it hasn't been the same. I feel like that is also
Also,
they fixed it with technology, but it's not as good
mhm.
as the body's, as a natural leg, right? So I feel like that's more of these just like
Little cues,
little
yeah.
cues, which I think they do throughout the episode. So I think, which made me realize when watching, I'm like, oh, this is a pretty good script. I appreciated it.
Yes. So pretty much Alexis's little monologue here comes down to, oh yeah, we thought we were gonna leave right away too. If they come for you, like she's already setting up, like
Downplaying.
downplaying it. You know, I'm not going to leave, but everybody here has a choice. Which
Do they?
do they? But she's playing off as benevolent type of leader, like. But the one rule here is that you have to work for your supper. So while you guys are here, you need to work with the community. And I'm like, okay. Like she's already long term, they're gonna be stuck here. You know what I
Right.
mean? She's already
Yeah, it's an interesting way to treat a guest.
yeah,
I get
like,
to be a member of the community you have to work, but like,
man, I haven't been here for a minute.
and right, putting me, yeah, if you're gonna, it's so catered to the fact that they're the only community here. What if there was another community? What if in the future it gets so large that they splinter? And it's an interesting. They're benefiting from the fact that they don't need to cooperate or collaborate with any other will.
Mhm.
It's just her will,
Yes.
which is how she wants it.
We also find out that the Robin Hood guy is her son. And they have a kind of a creepy moment here because she slides up
Oh,
to
yeah.
him.
This is the most on the nose thing.
This is-
that
yeah.
They say this probably tips it. I'd say
Oh, tipped
this
it a
is
little
too
too-
strong. I'd probably cut this line out.
Yes.
At least maybe just tone it down. Yeah. So
'Cause
what she says is they walk away and she turns to him and goes, "Two more strong, healthy men. This could mean an awful lot to this community." Like just the
wink, wink.
strong, healthy men. Like it sounds like you're trying to breed them. It's
I wrote down.
creepy.
I wrote down Midsummer vibes.
Yeah, that was a bit too, for all the subtleties they have elsewhere. This was like, oh, so now you know where it's
Yeah.
going to lead.
Yeah. Yeah, probably played it a little too
Too much.
soon. Yeah.
Just the phrasing, just oh man.
So we head back to DS9 in Ops. We have Dex and Kira chit-chatting, and they get a message that I guess a higher up is going to be coming in for a meeting. And Dex is like, oh, this is just a cover for a poker game. And oh gosh, she's like, now that means I'm going to have to work with Cisco on his game because he has no poker face. And he always gets cleaned out. That was cute. And while she's talking, Kira's like, okay, well, since he's coming in, we have to let Cisco know to come back from the survey for this, I guess, delegate,
I think it's
whatever.
interesting that they say that Cisco can't bluff
Yeah.
because it does kind of play into how he handles this situation, that I feel like he plays his hand too soon, that he's catching on, which makes her come down on him pretty hard.
It's, I get the point he is trying to make, but there is a part of me is like, dude, just pretend.
chill,
Just
dog.
chill. Just pretend you're all
That's
on
not Cisco. He
board,
can't bluff.
and then you could send Miles out to the field while you're, distracting her.
All right. Anyway,
But I get what he's doing. Okay. So this is where they find out, oh, we can't get a hold of them. Whoa. Big idiots. That's a little nerve-wracking that they can't get a hold of Cisco Miles
yep.
in the runabout.
Oh, and we're starting to set up this, not a B plot, but this is obviously where they start figuring out something's wrong, so they're going to plan a rescue, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember back in like season 1, there was a frequent complaint of ours where this side rescue plot,
Yes.
which is only there to serve as a ticking clock, right?
Yeah.
They
We
always
know they're
spend
on the way.
they always spend so much time on it. I feel like they do a little better job here with their scenes. Although there's still
Yes.
some of them are maybe there's one in particular that's still probably a little overly long, but they do I feel like a little better job of making them a little more concise and to the point and something that I
Edited.
can get.
Yeah.
Where it's something that matters beyond just the technobabble, and then also two, their interactions with each other are some nice character moments, which also feels like makes the scenes more worthwhile to watch,
Yes.
which I feel like boosts this above past attempts to do this in other episodes.
Yeah, I agree. It didn't seem like it was a complete drag when we, would go to their stuff like,
Right.
let's just get back to the A plot.
Like here, they're making these Benjamin Sisko comments, which
Which is cute.
he is
yeah.
the focus of the episode, so that makes sense in that way, and then we'll talk about the next one when we get there. But anyway, yes, so now we're back on
Planet?
the planet. Trad
So
planet.
Alexis has left her journals and writings everywhere.
That tracks.
I'm like,
It's like those people trying to
She
get you
is
to buy
like-
your book.
I mean, truly, someone studied a cult leader was like, this is what they would do, because the narcissism of thinking your ideas and your ideals, philosophies are just so
Gift to mankind.
amazing and so original.
Everyone will appreciate this.
And already
This is why she left Earth, because all
She
she
was
ever got her
obnoxious.
friends was these books. Oh, God, it's another one of her books for Christmas again.
nobody understands my genius.
Hey, have you ever thought about going to another planet and never coming back? Yeah, you should do that.
So,
That's why no one came looking for them.
she's gone.
My God.
Miles and Ben are kind of rolling their eyes at this. Like, wow, this lady kind of thinks highly of herself.
She seems to have something to say on just about everything.
So pretty much it all boils down to that society has become fat and lazy.
Fat,
Humans have-
lazy, and dull.
and dull, sorry.
To which
Sorry.
O'Brien gives the classic line, my wife told me something along those lines just last week. The O'Brien and Keiko saga continues.
I love his 90s husband
yeah.
lines you get. Like something out of Home Improvement.
Right.
Cracks me up. But yeah, that humans have lost their way. We've relied too much on technology and to the detriment of ourselves. So now I guess we must go back to a pure way.
Because in the most of the Federation's perspective, and that we see spoken of on screen especially, is that the primary way that mankind has evolved is in the mind and in, I'd say, empathy
Yes.
for our fellow humans, for other races. Empathy is the big thing. I think Picard talked about that. Like everyone, that's what everyone always talks about. Like our
Mhm.
ability to want to better ourselves, which applies to generally everything. But I think it really is like empathy. So I think it's very telling that she feels like that evolution is of no value,
Yeah.
because it certainly does not fit into her worldview. You can't have empathy when you are fighting for survival. Empathy is not the most important quality
Sadly, yeah. Yeah.
in her, and so
Oh, but you'll have me believe she's
Oh, yeah.
empathetic. Oh,
Empty
you don't
words.
know. You don't know.
this hurts me as
these
much as it
words are-
hurts you.
Oh, the abuser language she
Oh,
uses
yeah.
to Sisko in that moment. I'm just like, fuck this lady.
Sure, it hurts you in that you're annoyed that you have to deal with this situation.
I know. It saddens me.
The fact that you think your annoyance is equivalent to my physical pain is amusing.
I know.
But yeah, that's the classic
Oh,
line.
Miles and Ben start walking around the village.
And what the sorry,
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
interrupting, but again, like the line O'Brien says at the end of the scene, sounds like it took a crash landing for her to find her paradise. I mean, that's very foreboding. But it's not said in a dun 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 kind of way. He just sort of makes an offhand comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the strong, healthy men comment, I think it would have been a little more it probably would have been in line with the rest of this dialogue. They almost feel like something was added on there, like, oh, We need it to be more sinister. Make it a
Yeah.
little more obvious. Get a little hook here for the audience so they stay
Yeah.
engaged. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, another great like little yeah, it did take a crash landing for her to find her paradise. How
Convenient.
convenient.
And while they're walking around, they're talking. Oh, this is when they're talking to Joseph. And it seems like the other, I don't know, leaders, but the other higher ups, the community, all seemed very much in line with Alexis's vision of this community and how good it's been for us. It's like, cool. But while they're talking, um, Cassandra, I think is her name, runs up to them and lets Joseph know that Meg, I guess just someone in their community, is still sick and it's gotten worse. So they go to see Meg, and apparently she is like, I think the third or fourth person who's sick. The others have died, and it's not looking good. And they're like, we can't find the right herb, fungus.
Let's just keep mashing the leaves together until something works.
They're like, we'll find it. We'll find it. Like, okay. And so immediately, Sisko and Miles see someone dying.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh,
And because they have
this
empathy.
is so easy. Like, on our runabout, we have medicine. We can heal her. So they're immediately going into go mode of like,
Problem
okay,
solving.
we
mode,
problem solve.
yeah.
Is there any way we
Starfleet
can
way.
get?
How do we fix this?
Can we at least get to our runabout? And even Joseph kind of do you think you can? Starts getting into the conversation.
Because
and
he is the engineer. He was the engineer on the ship.
That's right.
What we established in the previous scene was that he was the engineer on the previous ship. So he was like one of the last people to
kind of
be converted.
Yeah.
Because he was
give
so
up
attached
hope,
to
yeah.
he's the Miles O'Brien. He's even like
Yes.
is the same archetype.
He is. It is interesting,
the folksy engineer.
And then Alexis
gets mad.
Yes, and gets mad. And
this is not the way.
Is this where she takes Sisko aside and talks
Yes.
to him? Okay. She's upset that Sisko and Miles are focusing on the runabout when your energy could be put into trying to save her. They're like, but this is our energy bidding towards. But that's a fool's errand. You're never going to get to it. So you're wasting time and energy. You need to be going into the forest to find the mushroom you need.
Yeah, you better spend traipsing around for some magic mushroom.
I'm like, can't you do both?
The frustrating thing occasionally here is that I don't feel like they properly countered her argument. Like,
yes.
This is how I direct my energy to help.
I don't know what I'm looking for in the forest. My energy is best spent seeing if we can get to the runabout. Because I'm sorry. If there were not nefarious reasons here, you should have no issue with that.
Now, she would have countered it because obviously her goal here is she's trying to assimilate them.
Yes.
And if they are just guests or another entity of their own accord, obviously them doing whatever they need to do help is fine. But if you're trying to assimilate them in the community, yeah, she has to shut this down and get them thinking like they do. Because if they're not going to assimilate.
Like, I don't know if it'd work from their point of view. Like, hey, we understand your point of view. You've been here for 10 years. You didn't get anywhere. Can you give us at least like maybe 2 weeks? And like see if we can figure this out. And if we don't figure it out in 2 weeks and nobody comes, then guess what? We'll get into the groove. That's the thing. I feel like it's like they walk in and immediately, and which for a cult, which she pretty much is a cult leader, that's understandable. But from them, I feel like I wanted just a little bit more pushback. Like,
and they would have been in their rights to. And I think if they had done it in public, they could have got some more sympathy. Obviously, in private, she has her own intentions. She would never have agreed anyway. And
exactly.
Kept trying to redirect the conversation.
But they don't know that yet. So I think at this point, I would have been.
Neither also does the rest of the commune, which makes it also
because that seems reasonable. And so if they seem reasonable and they keep asking her like, hey, this is the best we can help, give us 2 weeks and we will become part of the community if we're still here in 2 weeks. Like, they need to give suggestions to look reasonable, and she needs to you're right, in front of the community, start having those little breaks, because that is our power, is keeping face and having that power in the community. Because as we see, she gets people to do things they don't want to do.
Exactly.
And so losing control is the worst thing that can happen. So she's going to try everything. And by trying to keep control, that should be where we see a little bit of the cracks.
Yeah, ultimately, that is what is frustrating about the episode is, despite how I think well written it is,
Yes.
it does depend a little too much on the crutch of them just choosing to be silent rather than voicing some very reasonable counter arguments, especially early on. Now, I think the one thing you could say is, does this fit Sisko's character or not? I think maybe a different captain might have approached it differently and maybe tried to bluff a little bit more.
Yes.
Give themselves some space. I think you could argue that this is just how Sisko would have done it.
True.
To his detriment here. That would, I think, be the only question. It does feel at least somewhat consistent with his character, but...
Oh, yeah, no, nothing he does, I feel like, oh, Sisko wouldn't do that. I'm just frustrated with
I know,
Sisko.
it is just frustrating.
I think me, as a person, I've been like, okay, you want me to assimilate? I'll become your best friend, bitch. And I'll stab you from behind.
No.
But I'm not Sisko. Sisko's a better person than me.
And obviously the episode has to happen and has to happen quickly. But yeah, it just hits on that pet peeve of mine, which is just people not explaining themselves.
I know. Yes.
But minor nitpick, but it does kind of, it's definitely why I don't usually rewatch this one.
Of course, Alexis is all about human ingenuity. We'll find the cure. Spoiler alert. They don't make dyes later on.
I do like Sisko's line. An interesting philosophy. And while we're debating it, a woman is dying. That's Sisko right there.
That was Sisko. Boom.
We're doing everything you can for her. No, we're not.
No, we're not. So we go back to Ops. They have found the runabout.
Oh, yay.
It's abandoned and it's at warp.
Dun, dun, dun.
See, I think if they didn't have that line, Alexis to her son,
yes,
this should have been the whoa point,
And again, also a great example of making this side quest here more like impactful to the main story. It's not them just going technobabble.
Oh, we found it.
Here's the fact that it's at warp is a concrete, actionable development that makes any audience member watching this, their ears perk up because everyone understands what that means.
What do you mean? It's
what do you mean it's at warp? They weren't at warp when they beamed down there.
That means someone at warp.
They go to check that out.
Mm-hmm. So we go back to the planet. Ben and Miles are in the fields working for their supper. And it is Miles talking to Alexis' son, Robin Hood. And we get a little clue about their life on Earth. And apparently he'd never had replicated food. Like his mom would never let me have that nasty shit. It reminds me of all the, I'm going to get in trouble, but all the parents are like, my children don't eat any artificial.
Oh, yeah.
Artificial anything, no sugar, no dyes, which it's like, okay, some ways I'm like, they probably have a point, but that's the vibe I get. Like, my kid only eats things grown from the earth.
At what point is it more for the performative nature and less for actually benefiting someone?
I don't know. Maybe she had something because Robin Hood looks jacked and he's ready.
He worked for his food. That's for sure.
You know what? I'll give her that. So while they're working in the field, There's a commotion.
Oh, wait, first, sorry
Oh,
not
oh,
to
oh,
interrupt
oh,
you.
oh, okay, okay,
Just,
okay.
I love all these little things
I know, I know.
because, like,
I
O'Brien's
it's
talking with
I know.
Joseph about his wife. Oh, she's a botanist. Oh,
Oh, yes.
she'd probably love it here. Maybe you'll bring her someday. Trouble is, she wouldn't want to leave. That's okay too. It's like, uh,
Oh, hint, hint.
yeah. So go on, commotion.
Oh. So the commotion is first you see this box, kind of like almost like a crate, very
Yep,
small.
like a doggy kennel
They open it up
sitting in the sun.
and they keep mentioning like it's hot because she mentions like, oh, you'd be more comfortable if you were out of your uniforms. You should wear some of our clothes. It's a lot nicer in the weather. So we've gotten the indication it is real hot out there, and a man is in this box, and you could tell they did a really good job conveying how miserable this experience was. He is lar- caught largenic, like
Yeah, I can barely move. Like you've been
your
in a
lips,
cramped space where you
your
couldn't
lips are they got
stretch.
a really good look on the lips of like
Hmm.
dry,
Good casting because the guy I think is just naturally really skinny, so
skinny,
he
and
looks
emaciated looking.
emaciated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that also on top of it, and of course, Cisco and Miles are appalled, and one of them asks, "What did he do to deserve this?" He stole a candle, and he's been
A
in there
loaf of bread.
for 24 hours.
Yep.
That is, like, you're waiting for something like he murdered someone. Like,
Right.
you're waiting for something pretty extreme because this is a form of torture. And it is something that was used particularly with slave owners. They would boxes, um, they would dig holes in the ground. They would do all kinds of stuff where they would, because you're on a plantation in the South, it is very humid, very
Hmm.
hot. They would have a box and they would put the slave in a box.
Because of course you have to discipline your slave while not physically harming them because they
Yeah,
are valuable to
they are
you.
valuable. Yes, exactly.
Can't harm your merchandise.
You have to figure out a torture method
Right.
that they can rebound from and still work, but it's so bad that they will never do it again.
Much like this community needs.
And that's what Alexis says. Like, well, he agreed to this. We all agreed that this was the punishment, and he'll never do this again. He stole candle. I ugh. Knowing I'm getting choked up because I know
Of what's coming.
what's
Yeah.
coming up. And so and also this is a really great moment, an acting moment where he says, "Thank you, Alexis. Thank you." Like he is thanking her for being tortured. And that is where it really clicked the cult. Because that's what cults do. The people are so enamored, locked into this person, that even when they're being tormented by them, they thank them. And I was like, oh, this is much more than just, someone kind of going off the rails.
Yep.
She is a monster. He's literally thanking her for letting him
It's
go
all
from
about
his torture.
control. Yeah.
Yep. And
And to that point, then we get
ooh,
to the next scene. Well, so first of all, this is a big wake-up call for O'Brien and Cisco.
yeah.
They're finally catching on. They realize they need to figure out how to get this field down.
Yep. Pretty much whatever we need to do. So we go to, I'll call it Cisco's quarters at the moment, his room there, which of course has no door.
Oh, yeah, because Alexis doesn't believe in doors. Go figure. Can't control what you can't see.
Studying and knowing about cults, it's just like, of course she does.
Of course.
Of course she does. So he's washing up, so he has like the top layer of his uniform is off, and Cassandra comes in and is really trying the honeypot method.
Laying it on thick.
Ooh, laying on his bed.
You must be sore.
He must be. I have this ointment here that will help your muscles. Let me rub it on you. It's just like, damn, lady. And he's like, no, thank you. And she goes up and she tries anyway, and he grabs
Right.
her.
No.
No. And
Boundaries.
and he goes, did she send you here to try to make love
Love
to
to
me?
me.
And I'm like,
Whoa.
well, yeah, Cisco was not happy. So
So she busts in, because of course she doesn't have a door. So
yeah,
easy to bust in.
he goes to her, and of course we just I mean, she doesn't deny anything. She justifies everything in her own
Mhm.
sick, twisted logic. And she's like, oh, Cassandra came to me and she was just so worried that you are, of course, you don't like it here. We can tell. And she was so worried about that. So, I might have just dropped the hint that she could do something about it. And
The
the
choice
thing,
was hers.
the
Was it though? See, that's the thing
that's
is
the
when a
thing.
cult, once everyone's bought in, you
It,
don't need to convince anyone of anything anymore. They,
exactly.
from the core of their being, these ideas that you've instilled in them bubble up. And now you can
Because
say, oh, they suggested it.
because you're in control and you show the punishment of what happens.
Right.
So why would anybody try to not be on your good side? So it is not a choice. It is coercion.
Yep.
And of course she doesn't see it from her perspective. She keeps saying like this is everybody's choice. Everybody's choice. I'm like, at a point, you're right. At a point, it is not.
Was it their choice to crash on the planet?
Mhm.
Because that's the thing is, once you create a situation where, yeah, to live, we all have to work together, it does kind of conveniently prove your philosophy when the choice is death. Oh, they had a choice. Choice between following you or dying? Yeah, I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a real choice.
They never had a choice from the beginning. So, of course, Cisco's like, interesting that you crash landed on a planet that fits into your ideal philosophies.
He also points out, yeah, like the books that she wrote were not on technology, like they were on paper.
And on paper, and he
conveniently.
mentions here her son didn't even replicate her. So she was already living this lifestyle. And then, yeah, interesting that she crash landed on a planet that fits her life to a T before
And she
this
quickly
crash.
pivots to, yeah, you're right. That was such a big coincidence. I even think that these ancient religions were right, and fate just delivers you exactly where you need to be.
And he retorts something back, and then she lays into him, and she uses the word, disconnection. I noted that. Do you know the line?
You are so disconnected
Connected.
from your core identity.
So this reminds me a lot of word choices that are used in cults.
Yep.
So her solution to his disconnection is, maybe some hard work will break you. So, we need someone to stand watch in the field at night. Go ahead.
Stand watch for what?
We're the only ones here. I mean, is there animals? All right. So, poor Ben has to go out on watch. So, it's the next day. My gosh, now I can't do it. Cisco is coming back from the field, looking worn out. You can tell he's tired. And he goes up to Miles. I don't have much written. I think he was just saying, like, please tell me we've gotten somewhere. Please.
And basically O'Brien's just like, no, but it's definitely not what they explain it to be, which is like deposits and the rocks.
Yes.
That's
So
what
he knows something else is happening here. So now Alexis comes up while they're eating breakfast and tells Cisco now he'll work his regular shift. And Miles is like, what? He just worked overnight. And of course, looks like, oh, well, if you don't feel up to it, of course, we'll find somebody else. And Cisco's like, no, I'll do my shift. Also, that Meg, that sick lady, she's feeling so much. She's feeling better. I think we found the right combo verbs.
It definitely reminded immediately of the fact that people who are dying will often, at the point that their bodies give up and stop fighting, will appear to miraculously recover.
Yep.
Until they don't.
Yep.
Like, uh-oh.
Okay, so we
But
go
it's
out.
okay. Keep trusting those combination of herbs and spices. It's KFC up in here. That'll cure the fever.
Okay.
She's
So
dead, but it's delicious. Oh, now we're in Yellow Jackets territory.
no, we're in Yellow Jackets territory. We can't do that. Okay, so we're out in space, and Kira and Dax find the runabout, which is, still warping. They lasso it. Sure.
Yeah, they got to get out warp because you can't beam over at warp. So they have some exchange here. Just kind of cute. And then they, tow it to impulse with a tractor beam. This is the one that might have been overly long, but at least we get character interactions, right? It's not just people yapping technobabble.
True.
Like
It's
they're sort
cute.
of half arguing, and then contributing their respective
Because
specialties.
Kira was about to do something pretty dangerous. And
beaming over at warp, which is actually impossible.
yeah, I was wondering about that.
I'm pretty sure it's technically in the Star Trek universe, it's like not a thing you do.
So
So
Dax
that's
is
why
like,
Dax like, no, I'm science.
exactly. She's like, yes, you are the leading officer here. You have some seniority, but I am the science officer. Like, as someone in charge, you have to rely on people's expertise. This is my expertise. Give me a chance before you try something. I'll probably yell at you.
Which I guess, aside from just being a good character moment and gives them a residual scene, I guess the purpose of this is to contrast with Alexis's way of doing things, which is top heavy and does not delegate to these things.
No, and if she does delegate, then she probably micromanages the shit out of it.
That's not the right way to do it. Whereas here it's like, yeah, Kira trusts Dax to do her thing.
Yeah.
And use science and technology to solve a problem.
And just like, if the assembly did their job right and had a good day, this should work. And so when it does work, she's like, remind me to send a thank you note to the assembly team. Which I thought that was cute because you never get mentions of like,
right, someone built
like
this.
The people who built things and the lower decks and like those type of people.
Which is also a good example of how you can, even in a technology focused world, find ways to push yourself to excellence.
Yeah, because this is her ingenuity.
Yeah.
She thought of this idea.
Oh, and the assembly teams.
And the assembly teams,
they're out there.
did this right.
They are working with their hands, more or less, like probably tools, but like they built this and can now be proud of it without having to crash land on a planet and eat bugs.
I mean, all throughout this whole episode, we see Miles using his noggin.
Oh, yeah.
He makes a freaking compass.
Right?
I'm like, I wouldn't know how to do that. I'd be dead. So, and then we'll get to what Sisko does. Okay, so they lasso it. Thank God. Oh no,
Yeah,
I almost skipped this. Okay, so
to the surprise of no one,
Meg dies. Meg dies. I mean, like, and it's a span of a scene.
One scene.
Jesus.
Meg's even better. Meg is dead.
But then, would have broken Meg's heart.
Probably being dead.
I think that would have been more of her concern. But people wasting the most valuable resource we have, time. Meg hate those time wasters.
I thought the most important resource was young, healthy men.
And, Robin Hood comes in with Miles, and he was caught wasting time.
Trying to save her life or some stupid shit like that.
And Joe at first tries to back up Miles like, hey, he was trying to figure out a way to get to the runabout to get medicine for Meg. And then Alex's like, see their danger? See what they've done? They've given you false hope. That is what they've done.
This is our very own Joseph defending what he knows is wrong. Like, the danger is that they make you all stupid. Huh? Because, of course, he takes like, yeah, I am stupid.
So he has to be punished. And Cisco's like, "Oh, what? Does that mean he's going into the box?" And she's like, "No, you're the commander. You're in charge of him. You're going to go into the box." So, that scene was very hard to
Hmm.
watch, especially like we talked about the history of how, especially this type of tool was used in slavery. So, if a man who was working out in the fields
Uh-huh.
all night, all day now, and then he has to go into a hot box.
And they try and like restrain him, and he's just like, "Get the
No,
fuck off me!
just don't even
I'm going to
touch me.
walk into the box." Sisto still has his dignity.
Yeah, he gets in there, and I did notice they he closes it and they pause for a moment on this box. I
Oh yeah.
they know. They know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So at this point I was trying to still write my notes and not cry.
Hmm.
Cuz it was hard. We cut to the runaway runabout. They Kira and Dax find out that they were trying to destroy this runabout. So what happened was it looks like it was on a trajectory to go into like a star. I guess they did some miscalculations, probably because they've been on a planet for 10 years.
Probably because they stupid.
Maybe it
Why
was.
not? It was farm and
Oh
shit.
no, it was definitely her dumb son.
Yeah.
And it,
Computer, point the sun at the star and engage warp. My job is done. Sorry, I got to steal the Alison Pregler voice.
he definitely has a crunk vibe. So it goes past the star and it just, it was going to probably keep trucking until it ran out of gas. Um, but they're like, why? Who was trying to destroy it? And they also figured out that they had beamed off the runabout before this happened, Miles and Ben. So they gathered that the reason why they're trying to destroy is so they cannot track it back to the
Right.
where it was on the planet, or where it was
Thankfully for us,
orbiting.
they fail and we can trace it back.
Thank goodness that son was dumb.
And again, like some good stuff. Like I get the concept of they tried to fly the ship into the sun, right?
Yeah.
So again, I just keep getting reminded of the episode Battle Lines, where it's just Dax and O'Brien like putzing around in this
I know.
shell forever doing all this nonsense. Like this is
This is definitely a lot
much more
better.
to the point, much more like I get what's happening. And it's also good to see them. I mean, they were good at their jobs in Battle
Yes.
Lines too, but it has more impact when it's something you can follow.
So we go back to the planet. We're in Alexis's office, and they bring Cisco to her, and he's clearly been in the box for a while. He can barely walk. He can't talk. He looks dazed. It's God, he's so great at acting. Because it's very hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she comes up to him and is like, "This is hard on me too."
I'm sure it is, lady.
So now like, it's all been abusive and manipulation, but this line in particular, I'm like, this is what abusers say to the wives that they hit.
Why are you making me hit
You. Yeah.
I want to love you, but you gotta help me.
You're difficult. You are making it difficult, so I
Yeah.
must put you in line. Because then she pours a nice glass of water and she goes,
And the way he looks at the water, you can tell he's tempted, right?
yeah.
It's like
No,
the water's right there. All he has to
This
do
is-
is change his uniform.
the strength of character he has. Because I don't know if I would have this strength. Because she says, you can have this glass of water if you change out of that uniform. So now we've come to the point where this uniform is taken on more meaning in life than
Right.
it is of itself, because pretty much him taking off the uniform now means I give up, I'm assimilating, and I am going to be under her control. Like, because I know people are like, why didn't you just take, it's just a stupid suit. It maybe at the beginning, this wouldn't have been a big
Right.
deal. Like if, okay, we'll change our clothes. But at this point, where we are in the story, it is now assemble. And if he takes it off, he's literally saying to her, like, I give in. I'm going to do what you say. I'm going to be one of your puppets, pretty much. So she leaves him, which honestly,
She leaves him with the water.
water.
Which is
I would have been like, go and go, fill it up. He has more.
He could pee in it to replace it. Have a Batman v Superman moment.
Okay, so
That's the ultimate fuck you. Janeway would have done that.
So pretty much as she's leaving, she's like, join us, Ben. It cuts to her helping somebody. And then everybody looks towards the doorway. And there's Sisko slowly walking out. He walks past everybody.
With his uniform still on.
Uniform's still on. And he walks to the box and he gets in. Alexis goes on and on and on about the strength of character and human dignity, blah, blah, blah. She knows nothing. She literally cannot touch the dignity and strength of character that Sisko has. A man who was brought up on technology, who is everything she's against, is such a better person than she could even dream to be.
Because unlike her, at least prior to the crash, he experienced actual suffering and hardship.
Yeah.
Versus someone taking advantage of all the comforts of the society she loathes.
Yeah.
To put together her little pet project.
Mm-hmm.
To go be queen of the jungle. And for someone who values...
Robin Hood's son.
For someone who values, strength of character and all these things, she has created a community of simps.
Yeah.
Of weak-minded people, because those are the only people who she could control.
Yeah, you're right. They might be strong
in some respects.
Will, of like physical strength, like their bodies are not damn lazy, but you're right, their minds are hers.
Broken.
Yeah.
And I think that is maybe what I would have liked it more to end with, or at least hint at or address or pose as a possible flaw in this plan.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll cover that when we get there.
Okay, so after this, Miles asks Joe for help. And it's pretty much look the other way as I go into the forest to find out what's going on. Because he tells him, he's like, it is not what she says it is. There's something else going on here. And Joseph's like, I'm going to end up. And Miles is like, oh, if I leave and you turn your back on it, you'll be punished, which means the box. So he's like, if you trust me, I can make it so you don't get punished. And so pretty much, Miles clobbers him on the head with a rock and...
No, actually, his thing is kind of lame. All he does is a little boop with his hand. Like, boop. Like, wow, what pressure point did you hit that knocks him out? Maybe Joseph's just playing, oh, you knocked me out. Oh,
yeah.
Take a nap. Yeah, so knocks him out, takes his gourd, and runs out.
And then Miles goes out in the wood with his handmade compass.
He's got a little cup basically with water and like a magnetic rock sitting in the middle, so it spins around and shows him where the duotronic field is. I don't know.
Yeah. So he's, running about in the woods, and he finds in the ground a machine, a buried machine that pretty much it's blocking the electronics. And as soon as he finds it, an arrow comes past his head. Robin Hood has followed him into the woods, has found him, and they go on a little hunt. And Miles takes off his uniform and puts it on. This kid dumb as rock.
Blind as bat. I got him. Oh no, he got me. He just hung his shit up in a tree.
And of course, Miles attacks him and really hits him over the head. And he's like, you finally got me out of my suit.
Ties him up. Tramps him into camp.
Oh yeah, we cut right into camp, and he has the blaster. And he goes
the phaser. He
straight to the
Phaser. Ooh, this isn't Star Wars. You're gonna make our fans angry.
I'm sorry. Phaser. He goes straight to the box.
Shoots it open. Blam. Take that, suckers.
And everybody's around
This is
going,
the power of math, people.
So everybody's around. Alexis too. Everybody. He's like, "Oh, want to know how I did this?" And he explains what he found in the woods. So yeah, Alexis has been lying to everybody. She planned this all out. She also admitted that she developed this technology, which is so funny, being all anti-tech, but yet she created a new technology. Anywho, yeah, she's been lying to you. She's the reason why you crash landed here 10 years. It wasn't a mistake. Everybody is, what?
There's some reaction here about, like, you've been lying to us for 10 years. That's the last we hear of that.
And of course, Alexis is like, but look what you have become. If you would have been just a clerk in a cube working away your life, and you would have been a thief and blah, blah, blah.
Meg would probably still be dead.
Yeah, because then Ben asks, what of the dead? What about your son?
It's also pretty insulting to say, oh, you just would have been a clerk. Like, you're here trying to tell people
know.
to unlock their true potential, and this is what you think of them? Like,
Yeah.
maybe.
But she's like, sacrifices had to be made, and even if it was my son, it'd be hard, but I'm cool with that.
He's pretty stupid anyway.
Honestly, I wonder if she took the gamble because he's like, oh, he's been raised on the good stuff. He's not weak.
He was definitely breastfed until he was 10.
Yeah. Thinking he would not be weak to succumb to illness. I think that's the gamble she took.
Right.
Because she needed muscle. She needed, she was the brains.
And a confidant.
Her confidant, and her son was the muscle to keep people in line.
Yep.
So Kira calls in from the runabout, is like, hey, we're here. And, Miles and Ben are like, yeah, we're potentially going to be beaming up a lot of people.
Yeah, they're at minimum taking Alexis and her son for trial.
For trial.
Someone's got to answer for this. And it's you two. And they ask if anyone else wants to go.
And they all decide to stay. They're like, this is our home. This is our choice. We're staying. Miles and Ben are like, sure, cool, whatever, you're crazy. Boom, forward to beam.
Yeah, so the ending is it's a little disappointing to me in that
I think it wasn't supposed to be because it was like their choice and Alexis and the son are gone. But I get that too.
It feels like what it's setting up is that she ultimately was right. The ends did justify the means.
I think it would have been a better ending if some people would have gone with them.
Well, yeah, at least somebody. And again, trying to tackle the fact that
Cassandra seemed excited that they were there.
What was there was something I put a pin in. I wanted to.
I do think that the last.
Oh, the fact that ultimately she only created this because she found people, who she could manipulate. So, was it worth it? Have you created a strong community if you were all duped and tricked into committing these horrible acts to survive? Okay, yeah, she created a community. You're alive. Some of you. It made it. Is that worth it? And it doesn't tackle or even question that at the end. And it ends with her big speech, then Joseph's speech, basically confirming it just a little nicer, and nothing beyond that. And so that was the only thing for me, is I feel like there should have been either it end on nothing, like just their reactions as you sort of see in their minds that they're processing, because they will have to process it. I'm almost thinking Joseph's speech was the point that was too far. We should have seen a mix of reactions in the crowd where you don't really know who's going to stay and who's going to go.
So
I don't know, something.
I'm wondering if there is another tactic here where I did notice. So in Joseph's speech, he mentions, we have to decide whether we will open up communication with the outside world or not. These are decisions we need to make. Okay, so they beam away. They start moving away, and it is only the two children
I did notice that. Yeah, I was
were
going to bring that up.
just staring at these. This is the first time they've seen technology in their lives, like these people beam away and like, so
Their island was also at the box too.
yes.
So yeah, that was the one thing that did struck me, is that felt like a really
So
intentional blocking, and it's not in the transcript.
I'm wondering if it's more about maybe, is it just
This generation's too far gone.
this
and It's
generation?
going to be the
Because
next.
I mean, I'm hoping as time goes on and without the influence of Alexis, maybe they would get to the point where, like, okay, maybe we'll open up communications with the outside world. Maybe they would progress. Because it is kind of a shock to literally have your whole world upended. So I can understand that perspective. And maybe that this group of they are kind of far gone. They were in a cult for 10 years. Um,
Yeah, and that's the thing, is
and
it's
that's
not
not
like,
something you could deprogram in an instant.
and that is true. And I what I didn't want is a sappy everyone
Yeah,
is free, because
free.
that doesn't happen.
I think it
But
would
it
have felt
seemed
better
like
if a couple people
I wanted
went.
I wanted a
Yeah.
messier ending.
Yes,
Because it would
yes.
be messy.
And then
Instead,
with
it
the
just still seems so
children,
hippie.
yeah, it does.
Yeah, but she was right. It's like, I gotta grapple this for a second, guys.
I need more grappling. And with the kids looking off, like, yeah, so what does this mean for their next generation?
Right. Or a little
Um,
more on a sad note, like, oh yeah, none of us are willing to give it up. Yeah, what about your kids?
exactly.
They don't have a choice right now.
Exactly. So now are you taking the choice away from them that was taken away from you?
Yeah.
What happens when your kid gets sick? Are you gonna still that's the thing. It's like
Now that you know it's possible.
I
Before they
can
were
understand it's hard to leave what has now been your home for 10 years. But if it's the whole like, oh, we gotta decide whether we gotta open up communication, I'm like, I wish they would have been like, Joseph's like, we need to figure out how we're gonna do this. Like, we need to figure out how we're gonna move on, take steps. I could have taken that too. Because yeah, what if they get sick again? Are they gonna let their kids suffer?
It was easy to stick to finding mushrooms in the woods when you thought it was impossible.
Exactly. When you
Now that's no
had
longer
no
impossible. That willpower is going to evaporate.
Exactly. Which I get is something you're not going to see in just a moment, but I wanted to see some
Something.
kind of indication that yes, it might take time to like deprogram yourself, but they are on the right track.
And this is definitely a tough one. It's a tricky ending to land.
Mhm.
They're out of time.
I know time
but-
sometimes it's really like I think there's been a couple episodes where we're like, man, if they had just a few more minutes.
Yeah. But that's why part of me almost just wants a more ambiguous ending where you just end on the reactions. Because
Yes.
you can fill in the blanks enough to understand. Yeah, you can see it's gonna be messy. It's not gonna be easy. They're gonna have to grapple those things. I get that. I think maybe just the
Can
back
you come back in a week? We need to talk things
the
over.
back-to-back speeches talking about how great the community
That
is
I don't
with
yeah.
no counterpoint, I think was just like that
That-
was a little
yeah.
too much for the ending given what has just happened.
I'm like, why are they letting Alexis talk?
Right.
It's okay. I just wanted one person to go, shut up.
Shoot her in the face and beam her out.
It's like, yeah, it's nice that her and
Yeah,
her
they
son are
arrested
gone.
her, but they basically volunteered to leave. Like, oh yeah,
Exactly.
we basically made the sunset we
this-
won't be able to see. Like,
we made this paradise.
I'm a
wanted martyr.
be- yeah,
She-
I'm a martyr. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's-
She comes off more as a martyr, and that's not what you really want.
Yeah. So it took a lot of the catharsis that you wanted out of
Yes.
it, just because it felt so much like still a victory for her in almost every respect. But
Yeah, it was a bummer.
Yeah.
So
still, though, overall, a very well done episode.
So I think we kind of danced around throughout this episode. Pretty much right now, we are kind of having a wave of thinking that it is almost aligned with Alexis. Like if we go back to the basics.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to
The foundation of
simplicities
anti-vax and everything.
And I'm not gonna lie, I definitely have my moments where I'm like, want to say, F technology.
Oh, sure. It's a natural reaction.
Because I do think in some ways we kind of like we talked
We've
about with
ranted against AI a
AI.
lot.
So like so again, pendulums. Like
Hmm.
there is a way of going too far both ways. I think technology is a tool, but I think the person that you ultimately are and going to be, that is up to you, no matter what type of technology there is. Um, I'm not. Yes, everybody goes through hardships in their life, but I don't think that means your life has to be hard all the time. Do you understand what I mean? Because it's
Yeah.
almost like in this community, like they're roughing it. They're in survival mode, so that's what's making them great human beings. I'm like, no, you're just in survival mode, and you're right. When you're in survival mode, empathy kind of is getting thrown out of the window. And I don't think life has to be hard 24/7 for you to have uh, a moral compass or strength of character or have human ingenuity. Yes, hardships shape you and help you become the person you are, but like going back to basics, it's just like that's not going to do anything. That's just going to make you miserable. And there's also a romanticism with it,
Right.
especially with like we talked about with the Tradwife thing. Um, it it's interesting. It's coming out, of course, that a lot of these um Instagram influencers who do the whole Tradwife thing, it is just an aesthetic. That this is not their life outside of Instagram. It is only for Instagram. It is an aesthetic, but they are selling this lifestyle. And so people see this lifestyle, see the romance of it all. Like, oh, look at my children not watching TV and eating homemade bread and a meal that was made from scratch and all these beautiful nice things, and they're like cutting out all the hard work of it. You're just seeing the glossy side of it, the romance side, and making women feel bad for not doing this. And it's like, yeah, of course we don't do some of the shit because it's hard work. And like, especially women who have jobs, 40-hour-a-week jobs, they don't got time to do this crap. It's just another way to make people feel bad. Oh, look at this beautiful traditional lifestyle I have. But they're not actually living that out. It is just for aesthetic. And don't come for me. I'm not trying to say you can't do these things. You do whatever you want. It's your life. Some stuff looks nice, but you don't have to do this to be a good person. And I think that's what they're selling. To be a good mom, you need to be like this. To be a good human being, we have to go back to the earth. Go be hippies in the wilderness, I guess. I don't know. Forsake all technology. And
Instead of basically what it comes down to is like how the Federation's attitude of trying to improve yourself to be better. It's right there. You're trying to appeal to people's good nature. Schemes like this usually depend on the fact that they appeal to people's insecurities.
also the fact,
Oh,
why
you're not
can't
being a
she
good
recruit
mom
anybody?
because... Yeah, exactly.
Why does
Why was
she
it so
have...
difficult that you had to trick
You
a
had to
ship full of
trick.
people?
Yes, you had to force them into the situation because it's not... That's the thing. Everybody goes, oh, it's natural. These things are natural. Like gender norms. It's natural. It's natural. If it was so natural, then why do you have to coerce, create rules, force people to
Violence. Yeah.
use violence to make people do this? Then it's not natural. That's what I'm saying. If you want a peaceful life out in the woods, go for it. But that's not the life for everybody. And just because that is not their life, that doesn't mean that they are not living the best life for themselves, that they are not becoming the best person that they can be. I think that's the point I'm coming to, is like everybody has a different view for their lives. And some is with technology and some is without, or different amounts of it. That is not what's important. Who you are as a person is developed beyond those things. They having a computer in your house doesn't make you lazy and fat.
Yeah, being lazy makes you lazy.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah. Self-actualization, self-improvement, doing something for yourself versus trying to feed off of the fears and insecurities of others to make them do something to try and fill a hole in their life.
Mm-hmm.
One is healthy and one is not.
Yeah. Sorry. I know I went on a rant. Especially with motherhood, I've seen a lot of ladies get hurt by not feeling that they are doing right by their children because of these natural Tradwife type influencers. And this is what, watching this episode, that kept coming to mind. Ugh. And it's gross. It's gross.
Social media in a nutshell.
I know. Honestly, I'm not against, I guess I'm not that much against technology. I'm more against social media. That's why we don't have an Instagram anymore. I was like, I'm done with this.
All right.
So, yeah, my 2 cents. Sorry when I'm on rant. Hopefully it was cohesive in some sense. We'll see. Right, what do we have for next week?
Next week, we have Shadow Play, an Odo episode.
Oh no.
I don't think we've seen.
Not a lot. Came in a little bit during that Torture Miles episode.
Yeah, which one? All right. Well, yeah. See you in whenever.
Yeah.
Whenever posts it for more Shadow Play.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.